And Adams comes off as like a gentle guy who was in the wrong place at the wrong time and probably should have done more to alert the police as to what had happened and paid for that with 12 years of his life. Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. I will say you have to be on board with and engaged in what the subject matter is, I think, to really enjoy this, because you see the reenactment of the death probably half a dozen times.
Oh, yeah.
This is a movie where people are talking about the same thing in slightly different ways for 2 hours. Now, that's a very interesting case, and it's a little bit of an easier watch knowing that Harris was released.
Adam.
Sorry, that Adams was released,
Yeah.
and that Harris was eventually made.
Harris basically admits that Adams didn't do it. You know, he says it. He almost says it right to him, right to Aaron Morris. Yeah.
Right, but he says, I mean, he's already in jail for life. It's amazing. So the reason that Harris is in jail in the first place is because he killed a man who came after him with a gun. Well, the man deserved to die. Why did he deserve to die? He came after me with a gun. Why did he come after you with a gun? Well, all I did was kidnap his wife. I mean, like, this guy is a real nightmare. And he was 16, I think, when he killed the police officer.
Oh,
crazy, crazy stuff. Great documentary. Pretty wild to see something like that from the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I think it'd be a real good watch, that along with Vengeance, which actually isn't a great movie, but a good companion to The Thin Blue Line. And then any of Morris's other documentaries are terrific.
Right. Yeah. I mean, The Fog of War with Robert McNamara is pretty incredible. He did one I remember called Mr. Death. That was, yeah. Have you seen that one?
No.
Yeah, it's really a really weird one about a guy who used to go around claiming that Holocaust, like basically that he'd go around to to concentration camps and say like, oh no, there were no mass killings here. There's no way there could have been mass killings here because X, Y, and Z. You know, and he really kind of got off on the notoriety of appealing to those kind of to those groups. It's really the subjects he finds and explores. He's cool, man.
Yeah, that's a real bummer, because that is a pretty widespread and terrible trend now, Holocaust denial and just conspiracy theories in general. And so for that to have come out in 1999, a real drag.
Right. Yeah, it's a rough one. I mean, a lot of his docs are rough to get through. They're not real easy, but Rumsfeld one and the McNamara one is just, they're infuriating.
Yeah.
He's kind of, he's one of those like cliche choices, because he's like the Spielberg of documentaries, but he's really good. It's just fact.
It's interesting. I can't think of too many other documentary filmmakers. Excuse me, Ken Burns.
Of course.
And then you have like Werner Herzog, who I think is like the most interesting comp probably to Morris.
Yeah.
But like who else? I can't think of anyone else who's done like multiple documentary films that I was really interested in.
Yeah, it's hard because every year when they start talking about like the best documentaries that came out, it always feels like it's new people or people I wasn't real familiar with beforehand, and I'm not real sure what they did after that.
I'm sure there are folks out there who could do a better job of telling us that we're wrong, but
yeah, and if I looked into it, if I had some time to look into it more, I'm sure I could. Yeah, I'm sure I could track a few down, but. Yeah.
Murderball is one of my favorite documentaries. I have no idea who made it, frankly.
Right.
Or Won't You Be My Neighbor? I don't know who made that movie.
Well, that's a great question. Great movie, but yeah, I do not remember the director.
I'm looking these up now because I'm a little embarrassed. Okay, so Morgan Neville made Won't You Be My Neighbor?
20 Feet from Stardom?
Yep.
Yeah, that's one. Okay.
And Roadrunner and They'll Love Me When I'm Dead.
Okay. Yeah, those actually are all very good.
And then Murderball. Murderball was by Henry Alex Rubin and Dana Adam Shapiro. And they also did a movie called Disconnect. Yeah, so not a lot else. And then, of course, you have movies like 13th. But Ava DuVernay she's mostly doing, narrative films. 13th is amazing.
Incredible. I mean, that was a stacked year, too, because there was that one that year. I Am Not Your Negro came out that year, the James Baldwin film. And the O.J. Made in America, which I think is still just a mind-blowing, unbelievable, documentary. Easily one of the best I've ever seen.
Yeah, but wait, I Am Not Your Negro is actually a great example of what I'm talking about, because Raoul Peck, the only other thing I'd seen of his was Eliminate All the Brutes, which is a television show.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, and he's doing amazing work. The way that he handles narration in his documentaries is so cool. But yeah, he made a deal with HBO and made a TV show. So I guess docs are also headed the way of comedies.
Guess so, yeah.